feel like we're in the post-apocalyptic stage already. It's already happened. We've had the... We're in the fallout. And it's very hard to explain because I'm sure if you look back with your memory, you don't see any system-wide cataclysm happening. But when you look around and you see the people and you see how everybody's behaving, there's just something completely different. I don't know how to explain it. The whole entire scene is completely different than, for instance, when I was a child. And it could be argued that it's only different because my internal landscape has changed. That's a possibility, but if it were strictly subjective, then there wouldn't be anybody agreeing with me. And there are a lot of people agreeing with me. So whatever happened already happened. And I very much subscribe to the theory that everything has already happened. All possibilities, all combinations of material, all nuanced spirit feelings and revelations through the various ways the spirit can interact with all of the various possible formations of matter. I feel like that's all already happened. And the overarching intelligence, or God, is the force that determines where the consciousness is individuated and thrust out into that infinite possibility lattice work that already exists. And even then, even saying something like, oh, all of the possibilities have already happened, that's kind of a ridiculous thing to say anyway, because just the numbers, when we're using a finite mind, we can't even comprehend how many moves are possible on a chessboard. And that's like, a chessboard is one tiny itsy bitsy matter composed thing. Yes, it's thought as well, but that's one thing. That one thing has captured and grasped the attention and love of many, many, many people over many, many hundreds of years. And that's one instance of a nearly finite or a nearly infinite game or system. So the more I move forward, the more I know that it's completely limitless. Like, if we were any more free than we are now, then we'd probably go crazy, because there are too many options. They've already done studies in grocery stores where they try giving people 5 brands and textures of toilet paper, and then they try giving them 2. And the people that have the fewer amount of choices are happier. The ones that have more choices start getting stressed out, and they stay and they go back and forth and they try to figure out which is the best possible option. And then they worry about whether they made the correct choice or not. So I think we should be happy that we have limited options. But the part of you that is big and vast, the subconscious part, or the part that's connected to the larger whole, knows all of the things that are withheld from your present conscious mind. That's why you can speak language without consciously knowing every single word that's about to pop into your mouth, because you're drawing from that reservoir which is not evident on the surface, and you don't even need to think about it. It happens automatically. So it's almost like what we've done here is completely hidden the subconscious or the unconscious mind from the lived, linear, progressive, individuated bit of consciousness experience, and made it so the individual, while they are experiencing, does not need to sit here and act like a computer and act like they need to figure out all the inner workings of the body and figure out all the workings of the physical universe through physics and quantum mechanics, geometry, laws of nature, all these things. It's like we have removed the need for the human to be creator, mechanic, and fully understanding all of the laws that govern this spirit/physical body experience, because it's not necessary. That's the whole thing that being present is teaching you, is because the more present you become, the more you find out that nothing is required. Literally nothing. Even things where you're working and you're exerting physical force on an object, or you're exerting mental force to make a sort of plan occur and carry out according to expectation. Even when you're doing those things, it's only when you're sitting there weeble wobbling over whether or not it's going to go a certain way, or whether your expectations are going to be fulfilled. That's the only place where stress and work is occurring. Once you get used to simply doing physical work or simply carrying out a routine, the work disappears out of it. And it's just simply, you're doing what you're doing. That's what I've done with Uber. All of the stress disappears out of it, and I can drive for 14, 15 hours a day for 7 days in a row. And because I know how to meditate, and I'm present almost all the time, as much as I possibly can be, then the knowledge that your present moment is constantly recycling into something fresh, and all of this past baggage that we hold is simply mental. It's not necessary for us to grab onto. Once you really fully realize that and embody that knowledge, then you find that you're completely free. You're not carrying baggage. All of the baggage can be released. And you don't need to know even where the baggage is at. That's part of the gift of being alive in the present, is you, this individuated bit of consciousness called a human, are not responsible for the whole vast, infinite rest of the thing, wherever it's at. You're not responsible for it. And that's part of what we're learning here with all of these science experiments gone wrong, is the individuated bits of consciousness, however they may appear, whether they're etheric or ghosts or interdimensional, bits of stuck energy, whatever they are, whether they're just simply human beings that are here. If the individuated bits get the idea that they, from that perspective, from that limited operative standpoint, that they're going to move something really without some kind of consequence because they are basically blind and they can't see anything, then they will find out. Just like they are finding out, like people who are fucking around with atomic energy and atom bombs. Like people think, oh, I just nuked Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and just basically, well, we just won the war and that's all it is, and now rah rah, USA wins. It's like, no, that's having repercussions forward and backward through time, and it's also extending out past this realm. But of course the people who did that didn't know it until they detonated the things, and then you find out later. But that's what happens when you're operating from a secluded, viewpoint, is you fuck things up. And you can connect to that, that power source, that mind that knows everything, and still retain your sort of happy blindness. It's a weird way the system works. Like, you can still connect to that and not have to be consciously like manipulating things around to make the thing happen how you want it to. It's possible to be blind with help and blind without help. That's also your option. Anyway, that's enough for today. Yep, that's about it. Let me know what's going on in everybody else's world. Report below. Alright, peace.